Welcome to the demo of Retention, a groundbreaking EU-funded real-world data and AI-based digital health platform designed to transform care for patients with advanced heart failure. Retention helps clinicians deliver safer, more personalized care, reducing hospitalizations and improving quality of life. Let's take a look at how retention is shaping the future of cardiac care. Retention is built on three powerful modules. First, the clinical site backend dashboard, where clinicians create patient records, enter initial data, and monitor health with advanced tools for intervention group patients. Second, the Patient Edge, a mobile app and home gateway that gather and pre-process data from wearables and home sensors. And third, the Global Insight Cloud dashboard, an AI-powered platform for data scientists to support public health decision-making. Let's start with the Retention Clinical Site Backend dashboard. The process starts with logging in as a clinician in a virtual hospital environment that is provided to all the clinical centers in the Retention Clinical Study. A simple search facility allows clinicians to quickly and effectively locate specific patients. The clinician accesses the patient catalog, which includes the patient's ID, full name, recruitment status, consent date, category, group, the number of critical alerts and total alerts that we have, as well as the actions that we can take on the patient record. We have sorting facilities which allow us to group together records or to order them by order, let's say of critical alerts that are actually active at the moment. Having a look at the patient, we can see the kind of information that the retention platform provides. When the patient is created, some basic data are provided for the patient, baseline data containing patient history and initial measurements, a list of the devices that the patient is using, and the cares that are relevant for the patient. Subsequently, we have the Patient Monitoring tab. The overview will be presented in detail later. The visits that the patient has made to the hospital, scheduled or unscheduled. Hospitalizations. Additional events. The medications that the patient is taking, medications that are no longer active, as well as any medications planned for the future. The clinical data recorded on the specific time points by the protocol. There's an option of recording data from an unscheduled visit. Then, ECG data. Labs data. Echocardiography, 6-minute walking test data, cardiopulmonary exercise test data. Compiled protocol-related questionnaires. And now back to the Overview tab and the Symptoms tab. These are only available to the intervention group patients. These tabs provide the additional information that the retention captures from the patient devices and the patient home devices. Data are the patient's blood pressure from the blood pressure meter. The blood pressure meter also gives us the heart rate of the patient. The oximeter also provides us with the ability to capture the heart rate, in addition to the oxygen saturation, and we also have the data from Garmin Watch captured heart rate. The weight scale, the body temperature, which is manually entered, and the activity metrics captured by the watch, such as steps, calories, distance covered, elevation, records physical activity, and sleep quality metrics. In addition, indoor and outdoor temperature, humidity, and pollution metrics are collected. The indoor metrics captured by the Xiaomi sensor. The outdoor metric collects pollution level in the area where the patient is living. Finally, we have graphs capturing the medication adherence, specifically on a daily basis, whether the patient has taken the prescribed dosage of each of the medications. We also have symptoms questionnaire compiled by the patients, which in this case, we don't have any data for. And now let's see how to set up the Retention Patient Edge. Here's the initial setup of the retention application. Going to go to the Google Play Store, search Retention and install. We enter patient's ID from assigned at the hospital through the clinical site backend. Then we're going to choose the URL of our patient's hospital. Change language required by the patient and enable VAD if clinician is dealing with a VAD patient. Then the patient's profile is connected in the clinical site backend using the device ID by clicking on the eye icon next to our patient. Go to Devices, scroll down to Add Device, choose Smartphone from the drop-down, and in the address field, enter our device ID. Click on Save. The smartphone is connected to the patient's profile in the clinical site backend. Now the phone is set up, and we're ready to begin pairing devices. Pairing the Omron oximeter with the retention application. By tapping the oxygen button, a prompt appears. Press the button on the Omron oximeter until the P indication appears on the screen. Then, from the app, press Done. The phone is now ready to get measurements from Omron Oximeter. Effortlessly pair the Omron blood pressure gauge with our retention app. Start at the measurement screen and tap the pressure button to see a prompt. Hold down the Bluetooth button on your gauge until a P icon appears. Return to the app, press the Done button, and a pairing request will pop up at the bottom. Here we go. The gauge is now paired, ready to deliver accurate pressure measurements directly to the app. Seamlessly connect the Garmin watch to the retention app in just a few steps. The user just hold the top button on Garmin watch, then press the Bluetooth button on the bottom right. From the retention app's measurement screen and tapping on Watch, user quickly select the watch when it appears. Next, fill in the patient details in the form and hit Save. A prompt will ask for a code in the app and tap Pair. The Garmin watch is now successfully connected and ready to sync data with retention effortlessly. Easily pair the Omron weight scale with the retention app. Tapping the weight button, pressing and holding the Bluetooth button on top of the scale until the P icon appears. Back to the app, tap the Done button, tap Pair, and you're all set. Omron weight scale is now connected and ready to sync with retention application. In this demo, we'll show how AI and machine learning within the Global Insights Cloud can help healthcare data scientists predict a patient's next hospitalization and its duration using retention data, either real data available after the clinical trial conclusion or synthetic data as in this demo. Our data scientist begins by logging into the advanced notebook environment on the Global Insights Cloud. After uploading synthetic patient data into the workspace, a new notebook is opened to load and process the big data, preparing it for machine learning. Using a random forest regressor, the model is trained to predict upcoming hospitalizations for individual patients or groups. Key performance indicators like mean squared error and R squared are logged into MLflow for quality tracking. The data scientist who support the healthcare researcher in this task writes code to generate predictions for future hospitalizations. Results are visualized in clear, insightful charts, ready for clinicians to review. Finally, model parameters and performance metrics are easily accessible in MLflow for ongoing evaluation, ensuring transparency and trustworthiness of AI models' decisions. This is how AI and data science come together to support proactive healthcare decisions. On behalf of the entire Retention Consortium, thank you for attending our platform demo.